All right, we also want to ask you about President Biden marking 1 year since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That's coming up on Friday. He made a very discreet trip to Kyiv on Monday. Today, he's in Poland reiterating U.S. support for Ukraine.
1 year ago, the world was bracing for the fall of Kyiv. Well, I've just come from a visit to Kyiv, and I can report Kyiv stands strong. Kyiv stands proud, it stands tall, and most important, it stands free.
So how significant is the trip, Rick? And is there any reason to think we're not going to be sitting in the same spot next year talking about year two?
I think Biden's trip is really significant, and we want to ask ourselves, how significant is it for us? Let's think about how significant it is if you're in Ukraine, and especially if you're a soldier fighting this war, and the President of the United States has come to your country at some risk to himself. He's in a war zone that is not controlled by American troops, the first time that has happened maybe ever. That is got to be a huge boost for Ukraine. And he's basically sending the message, we're sticking with this. Of course, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, is outraged. That's why Putin, has said we're pulling out of the nuclear treaty and all other types of threats. I think the way you phrase the question, when will this end, is a good way to phrase it. Where will we be 1 year from now? I mean, this war is not going to end anytime soon. It's possible this war could be over within a year. If it is over within a year, it would have to be that Russia has lost and in some measure pulled out or made concessions that are solid enough to get at least end the fighting there. There's also a considerable chance this could drag on for quite some time. The Korean conflict in the 1950s, the war, it was a war, is a template for that, 3 years or more of fighting with no conclusive outcome and still no end to that war formally today. So it's going to be a mess for a while.
Yeah, it feels like the beginning of a years-long slog, unfortunately. Rick Newman, senior columnist, good to see you, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
It's a great shirt.
Thank you.
Fantastic shirt, Rick.